I like the way you responded to the assignment by sending in the answer quickly. That is a good one. Shows you are willing to learn. I must plead with you here that don't just submit the assignment or don't just come to class. Also read the materials and the assignment you sent in. Read them. Those are the same materials I'm going to set in the exam and the test. All these things you're just doing, that is the same thing. So if you just submit the assignment now and you don't put it in your memory, in the exam or the test, you will not be able to do well. So that those who don't come to class will not go ahead and be reading and then at the end of the day overtake you. So you have to read them very well. So we have looked at effects of microorganisms on food processing equipment. Quickly, we are moving on to alcoholic beverage production. Alcoholic beverage production, and in this one we are going to have a practical. We are going to have a practical in this one, which we're going to carry out by ourselves. So alcoholic beverage production is what you're looking at now. So when we talk about alcoholic beverage production, it is the process of converting the sugars in fruits or the sugars in grains or other fermentable materials into ethanol. And ethanol is the primary alcohol found. Alcohol is the primary alcohol found in alcoholic beverages. That is why we said it is converted into ethanol. So what we actually mean is it is converted into alcohol. And there are several types of alcoholic beverages that are produced around the world. And one of them is beer, another one is wine, another one is spirits, another one is cider. Each type of alcoholic beverage has its unique production process, but they all follow a basic sequence of steps. Each type of alcohol have So each type of alcohol has they have their own unique way of production. Like in the case of wine, after you have gone through the process to produce beer have ended, then that is when you now continue the process to distill. Distillation process now takes place to give you wine or spirit or other types. So those are just they have some basics, then they have some specifics also for each of beer, wine, spirit, ciders. So I said that each type of alcoholic beverage has its unique production process, but they all follow a basic sequence of steps. Recently, on the WhatsApp group of lecturers in the University of Ilorin, there was an argument or discussion on beer and on wine. And the discussion was that this one contains beer, and this one contains wine, and this one contains this. They were trying to look at the percentage of beer in this percentage, that this something, does it actually contain beer, does it actually contain wine, does it actually contain this? And there were some arguments in that regard. So based on that, I'm going to also give you another assignment on that. And the assignment is that what do you mean by non-alcoholic wine and alcoholic wine? Inside of alcoholic and non-alcoholic wine, is there alcohol? Based on our knowledge, is there alcohol inside of alcoholic wine? Now, if there's alcohol inside alcoholic wine, he was working in a brewery and he became a Christian, so to say, he became born again. And then because he said he became born again, he resigned. Patient, you are not going to drive. Because I'm recording the lecture, so I'm deleting the material from my second phone. So now, that is the assignment, the second assignment I've given you already. So you are going to submit the number one assignment and the second assignment immediately after you submit. I'll give you some few minutes to do that. Now, I said again that each type of alcoholic beverage has its unique production process, but they all follow a basic sequence of steps. Number one step is raw material selection. This, what I'm saying is in your note, I'm just going to explain. You are going to select the raw material you are going to use to produce the alcohol or that you want to produce, whether it is beer, whether it is wine. There are some that they have some specific kind of raw material. There are some that they don't, that the raw material is so, this one is this. So examples of the raw material is fruits, grains, and other fermentable materials can be used. Then after the raw material selection, you need to clean and sort the raw material. The raw material you are given may be dirty. You have to clean it because you want to use it to produce beer or to produce alcohol. You have to clean it and you have to sort it, to separate it. Okay, this one, like you are picking beans, you remove the stone, remove the chaff, remove any other thing that is inside the beans, you remove it. So you do that to the raw material you get. You clean it and you sort it. Any unwanted material that is not part of the raw material, you remove. After cleaning and sorting, you go ahead to crush or you mill. To crush means to grind. To mill means to grind. Whether you are grinding it to powder or you are grinding it to slurry, to liquid. As you are grinding pepper, you grind pepper to slurry, to liquid. You grind pepper to that. You grind yam, dried yam. You grind it to powder, and then you can grind it to powder and still convert it back to liquid later in the process of cooking. So that can be done. So you crush or you mill. So after you do that, the raw materials are then crushed or milled to extract the juice, which contains the sugars needed for fermentation. So the essence of milling or crushing is to remove the juice which you need for containing the sugar for fermentation. After this, then you start the fermentation process. The extracted juice is then mixed with yeast. Listen to what I'm saying. You mix it with yeast. You mix it with yeast. You mix the extracted sugar with yeast. Then, when you mix it with yeast, you allow it to ferment, which converts the sugars into alcohol. After it has, let me tell you the process of fermentation. The material will be put, the juice, sugar juice you've obtained, you contain it in a big fermentation vessel in the industry. Big vessel. If you have ever passed through Guinness in Atikeja before in Lagos, you see big vessels, fermentation vessels. And then that is where fermentation takes place. Then they'll put a particular amount of yeast. Then everything will be sealed up. Then they leave it for 2-3 days. After 2-3 days, fermentation will have taken place. The sugar will have been converted to alcohol. So how the percentage of alcohol can be checked using some special instruments in the factories where the alcohols are being produced, and we can also do that as in the lab. So fermentation will take place. After fermentation will take place, then you open the vessels and then you clarify. The next thing is to clarify. Once the fermentation process is complete, the mixture is clarified to remove any solids, and the resulting liquid is aged. Age means when you clarify, you leave it. Age just means to leave it to age. Now, you are born in 1996 or 1997 or 1998 or 1999 or 2000. So as the time is going, what is happening? You are aging. So after the fermentation, you clarify, you leave it for some time to age. Then you blend or you distill, depending on the type of alcoholic beverage you are producing. Then the next thing is you package. Finally, the alcohol beverage is packaged in bottles or in cans or other containers and labeled for distribution and sale. So this is simply the procedure for producing alcohol. Now, the production process of each alcoholic beverage differs in terms of specific raw materials, fermentation, aging techniques, and other factors. For example, beer is made from malted grains, while wine is made from grapes, and spirits are typically distilled from fermented grains or fruits. In addition to the basic steps listed above, the production of alcoholic beverages may also involve additional processes such as barrel aging, blending, filtering, and blotting. These processes can significantly impact the flavor, aroma, and overall quality of the final product. Overall, the production of alcoholic beverages requires careful attention to detail, quality control, and sanitation to ensure that the final product is safe, consistent, and enjoyable. So this is just it about the process of alcoholic beverage production. I've given you the process: you raw material selection, you clean and sort, then you crush or you mill, then you ferment. After fermenting, then you clarify. After clarifying, then you package. After packaging, then you sell. So other details about it, about the different ones, beer, alcohol, and spirit, I've asked you to write it in as an assignment and to send it down. So that is where we're going to stop for now. But before we go, I have another assignment for you, but this one is a practical. This one is a practical. Now you're going to get a 5-liter keg. You divide your class into 2. Boys separate, girls separate on one side. Boys one group, group 1 is boys, group 2 is girls. You buy a keg, clean keg of just empty keg, clean 5-liter. 5-liter keg, this white one they sell, you buy it, just one, and you label it. Boys, girls. Now, what you do is you buy sugar. The boys will buy 1 kg. Sorry, a phone call was trying to come in. So the boys will buy 1 kg of sugar and put it inside 5-liter keg. You put water almost full, but don't fill it up. Let there be space above, clear space above. You fill it to like 3/4, that's 75% of the container. You fill it to 75% with water. Then put 1 kg of sugar inside it. Then get baker's yeast. Just take baker's yeast. You can put baker's yeast, just a little baker's yeast, just a spoonful of baker's yeast. You add it to it. I repeat, your 5-liter keg, clean white, put water, 75% of water up to fill the bottle, the container. The ladies will do the same thing. But in case of sugar, the men will put 1 kg of sugar. The ladies will put 500 grams of sugar in their own. The men will put 1 teaspoonful of yeast, baker's yeast, inside, and then the ladies will put half teaspoon of baker's yeast in their own. Then you seal it. You cover it. The ladies too will cover their own. Leave it for 3 days. So you do that tomorrow, being Thursday. No, you buy the materials, you do it on Friday. You do everything on Friday. Leave it in a place in your class, on your lab, or anywhere you want to put it that is safe. You label it and leave it there on Friday. By Monday, you check it, open it and check it, and see what has happened. You will have seen that it will have been converted to alcohol. I will come and check the alcohol on Monday. By 12 noon, I will be in your food engineering class to check it by 12 noon on Monday to see the product of what you have produced. So this is very, very clean and clear, practical, not theory. So you do it, you start it by Monday, you do it on Friday and leave it. Put everything together. So you have today, tomorrow, and Friday. By Friday, before 12, you have completed and put it there. So by Monday, by 12 noon, I will come and check it. And then we are going to see what has happened in it together. So this is where I'm going to stop on this for today. The other assignment I have to do, immediately now, start submitting. In the next 30 minutes, you can send in the assignment. So this is where I'm going to stop for now. So we are just 14 in the class. So I'm expecting 14 submissions. Somebody made a comment. Let me read you the comments quickly. Somebody made a comment. Let me read the comment before I call it a day. And if you have any question, you can ask the question now, please. You can ask the question by posting it. The second assignment. Okay, let me see if I have. I didn't really write it down. I see the first assignment was The one I talk about, the assignment, the first assignment, if you didn't get the assignment, that means you are not in class then. I'm not repeating it again, sir. So please start sending it in. If you didn't get the assignment, that means you are not just on the Zoom and you went away. So you don't write it. So please start sending the assignment now. While the practical you do it, you start it also. So until next week, have a good one.